Hello students. Yes, so in this video I'll be explaining on the last bifurcation under marketable securities, that is indirect investment. See, now you know what is direct investment is all about. Direct investment is where you know there are those investments, in those like in which the investor owns the particular assets himself, while on the other hand indirect investments, they are the investments which are made in vehicles, where that pooling the investors money in order to buy or sell the assets, right? So that's how the things are going to work under the marketable security, that is indirect investment. So now we shall understand what are the different types of indirect investments we have. With that, we'll take up with the first one, unit trust. Now, what does a unit trust talk about? See, unit trust, basically it talks about the trust which is set up under a trust deed, which is made between the parties, two parties, where you call him as a trustee and the manager. So a kind of deed of a settlement company, which is previously it was known as a management trust, I mean during the 19th century, right? So the institution was reintroduced as unit trust in the year 1930. So what are the certain principles or the set of guidelines that is associated with a unit trust is that securities are vested in the trustee under the termship called as a trust deed, that is on trust for the manager. Here the manager held beneficial interest, which is divided into a large number of units, subunits of the shares as well. Here these will be offered to the public at a price which is based on the market value of the securities plus the service a charger as well. Whereas the investors here is that the beneficial owner of an undivided share of the securities, which is proportion to the number of units that what he holds. So the trust deed under here, it plays an important role as many matters are dealt in it, right? So what are the matters that is associated as a provision under trust deed, that is unit trust, is that one thing is the remuneration of trustee and the manager, and the managers to repurchase the shares from the unit holders, and who wishes to dispose their investment, and resale by manager to the new investors, and was a duration of trust that has been conducted, and extension of trust, like if until the holder has the desire, right? Something you have called fixed unit trust, you have flexible. Fixed is something which is stable, where the portfolios of investments, it remains unaltered, you can't alter it under the fixed trust unit. But under the concept of the flexible unit trust, what happens, the managers they are given the power to switch the securities. They can, those investors, they can hop, they can switch over the securities available in the market. But when it comes to the fixed, it's not like that. The portfolios of the investments, it remains stable, that is it remains unaltered. But under flexible, the unit holder under that unit trust thing, he can benefit the manager financial skill, and the problem is that it depends on the manager's ability and the integrity as well, right? So this is how it is going to work. So what you have to understand is that unit trust is something means any kind of arrangement that which is made for the purpose or having the effect of providing the facility for the participation, people who are going to take part of in form of persons that is as beneficiaries under a trust in profits, or the income which is arising from the acquisition, or you got to hold or manage or dispose something like the securities, future contracts, or any other properties can also be fine. So this talks about this particular concept of unit trust. Now the person who is going to hold it, the unit, he is called as a unit holder. I mean to say here the unit holder of a unit trust scheme or prescribed investor scheme, it can be fine. So now just connecting, what is unit trust? Now unit trust, they are collective investment schemes that which allows the investors to pool in their money together in form of a fund, whereas they are managed, by a professional fund manager who is going to buy variety of the different holdings, and this again spreads the investment and results, in lower dealing costs. That's how it's going to work. And apart from that, it always allows, the private investors to pool their money as a single fund, fine, then getting the benefit of professional fund management as well, and it also aids in, reducing the risk as well. So it is a collective scheme investment, which is on a trust deed, basically a trust fund. And any individual purchasers can be the purchaser of the units, and pooling of the resources with those of other investors is also important. And the fund manager must invest in a variety or diversified types of the investment over here. If you ask me, ma'am, why should we go ahead, investing in a unit trust under the indirect investment? See, the interested to invest in share markets, rather than saving in the bank, you would feel better, protected against the ravages, of inflation. If I give you, where would you like to invest? Is it in the share market or is it in the savings in the bank? Of course, you will always choose, you will go for the bank, because there is an intervenue of the government. RBI is involved, so definitely when the central government is involved, you can just neglect your risk, yeah, by default, right? So how it is going to happen, you feel better protected against whatever you have done. It can be in the inflation or deflation, right? Investment is small, like collectively can spread their investment across the market, where you are going to have the wider portfolio, and there's a low risk with respect to the unit trust, and low or tax as well. Now there's a person who is going to monitor all these unit trust funds and all. Who is that person? That person is the fund manager. Now what fund manager is going to do? See, a fund manager, is hired by the financial services company, or it can be the commercial banks as well. He is the person who is going to manage the investments collectively. That is on behalf of, the number of investors, where he is supervised and is monitored by the financial services company as well. So under here you have different, that is two types of unit trust. One is a fixed unit trust and the one is managed unit trust. Now what does it talk about? Fixed unit trust is something which is, non-authorized unit trust. Why it is said so? Because the categories, which the managers are permitted to acquire, they are rigidly defined. They are not flexible enough in terms of the trust document land, right? But when it comes to the managed unit trust, here it is a flexibility. There is a degree of flexibility, because this is, authorized unit trust that is going to grant the managers, the authorization to acquire, an almost unlimited power of the investment. That's the reason. Like how it is going to work it now, say for example, A is going to buy the units from a bank, right? Some bank, fine. The bank now, it takes the subscriptions from A and other individual investors also. It can be followed by B, C, D, E, F, G. How it is going to now work? See, A and the other members, like B, C, D, E, F, they are going to purchase. They are the purchasers and are allocated units in the trust assets in proportion, that is to the sums which they have contributed, right? So the subscriptions, they are pooled and they are used to subscribe the shares, and they are used to make the other investments as well. That's how the things are going to work it over there. And what is the duration? When can be the withdrawal? Is that, see, A may invest, that is the person I told you is going to invest, followed by A, B, C, D, F, right? So here A may invest, subscribe for whatever the duration he wants to. So A will be receiving annual profits on whatever he has invested, right? So A may withdraw from the unit trust, by being paid back a sum which represents the proceeds of his particular initial investment plus the profit. Whereas the new investors, they will have to buy into the unit trust, at a price which is going to reflect the current value of the unit, right? So it is the form of, kind of equitable ownership, and the fund purchase of investments, in the name of fund trustee is going to, it is going to happen, and investments being held upon trust for the subscribers is going to work. And who is going to take care of all these aspects? The fund manager will do the investment, and the fund manager and the fund trustee will make an annual charge, for the administration of the investment fund. So that's how the things are going to work under the unit trust of India. So to sum up with, UTI, that is unit trust, it was established on 1st February, that is 1964, under the Act of the Unit Trust of India 1963. So if you ask me what's the main objectives, to promote and pool the savings from the small investors, to give an opportunity to share the benefits, right? And it encourages the savings of the lower and middle class people, and to sell the units to investors in the different parts of the country, and to convert the small savings into industrial finance, or to ensure the liquidity to the funds, to provide the merchant banking, investment advisory, right? So UTI, that is the unit trust, what it does, it is going to provide you the good opportunity for the small investors, where there will be a wide choice of the schemes which are said to be the safe investments, and there is a steady income, of course, and there is a export handling, a kind of tax concession you are going to get it, right? So basically what you are going to understand from this is that the unit trust, it is one of the indirect investments, where it is a form of equitable ownership. So you are going to decide upon how it is going to work, which is a collective investment schemes, that which allows the investors in order to pool in their money together in a fund, and which is always managed by a professional fund manager. He is the one who is going to buy the variety of a different holdings, and he's going to this spreads, of course, the investment, and it results in dealing with the cost as well. So so to wind up with this particular concept in relation to a unit trust, it is something like an arrangement made for the purpose of having the effect of providing the facilities for the participation, that is of persons. It can be an individual, it can be a corporate, right, as beneficiaries, that too under a trust in profits with a trust deed, or the income arising from the acquisition, or it can be in form of holding, management, or the disposal of, it can be the securities, future contracts, or any of the other properties, right? So this communicates about the unit trust under indirect investment.